Sakolowski. Remember, they had quite a tilt up in Barrie just prior to the Christmas break, where the Knights won it 4-0. Colts will take refuge deep in their own territory. Headman pass for low off his stick. Sokolowski again seals it off the boards, and it's sent back down into Barrie's territories. Wassilyn in on the forecheck. Steals it from the Colts D-men. Funk has it now. He's a Colorado draft pick sent in deep courtesy of Wassilyn. Colts try to rim it around the boards, and they'll have a chance to clear, but Wassilyn will take his man out. The Colts will usher it in across deep once again. Sent back out by the veteran Hawkins. Sokolowski tracks it. Lead pass, Van Bommel tips it. A gaze for Frank. On the draw, London will control again. A shot courtesy of Sokolowski. Hits his shin pad. And it's soaked up here on the left side, and Lowe will just bounce one in. He's a big power forward, number 85 for the Barrie Colts. Sent to the corner again. Lowe, tab back to Aitchison. Quick shot. Repelled there by Medvedev, and it's airmailed back out through the center ice. Dumped in deep again. Here's Funk. Lead pass. Tapped down by Hawkins. On it though. His hands are of the Barrie Colts. He's bumped Sokolowski at the line. Sends it toward the back of the net. Now the Colts will try to clear to the corner. And the Barrie Colts will tied it at 2, I believe, in Barrie last night. So he's been a factor in the last couple of games for the Barrie Colts. Dumped in deep again. 1-1. Good goal by the Colts as they lead it out. They record that goal as an even strength goal. Played around the boards. Cover was out. Shot in. Played off the skate. Right side pass for Wassilyn. He's tied up along the boards with Hanzor. Here's Brustevich. Toe drag. Got pass. Back up top. Shot. And that hits a player in front of the net. A good play. Here's the Knights again. Working it. Another quick shot just gone wide of the mark by Olisker. Played to the corner again. Round the boards. Knights buzzing here. In behind the net. Wassilyn trying to fight off the checking. A one-man. Hanzor will have a chance to clear. And boy, just shuttled out as Brustevich had a beat on. Played off the boards again. Through to center ice. Here's Lowe, the big power forward. Waits. Will he do drag it from the net? They score to take over the Brantford Bulldogs, top of the Eastern Conference. Be a big game in Brantford tomorrow.
In 17 games in Barrie, he has 4 goals and 15 points.
Well, the Knights good on the draw again. Sokolowski peels it on to Funk. He rips it toward the net, and then Hawkins. Hawkins has it. Trying to roll in. There's another quick shot from a sharp angle, courtesy Hawkins. Another shot. Turnover at the line. Cost them a shorty. Gardner, you don't want to leave him alone, and he beat Medvedev, and it's 3-1. So 3 unanswered goals here by the highly touted Barrie Colts. As they lead it 3-1. Schneid has the puck, and they'll clear the zone out through to the red line. Now they'll work their way in across the London blue line, shovel toward the net, and into Edgar. In to take the draw, but the Knights win it cleanly back to the blue line. Brustevich and Mitchell will try to switch position. Wassilyn to the corner. Half boards now. Van Bommel round the boards here on the near side. And that will allow Newton to clear the zone. All the way down the ice, and they're going to wave it off. Desiderio in there first. 30 seconds remaining in the period. Played over to the far side and picked up by Mitchell. He hails from Omemee, Ontario. And he'll set up shop deep. Knights maybe with one last blast here as they work their way in. Almost 2 minutes gone here in the second period. Kicked up on the blade of Wassilyn. Colts will march it out through the center and dump it in. Mitchell in behind his own net, plays it around the board. Funk having difficulty. Now tied up here on the near side. Colts in on the rush again. Played back to the blue line. They'll look for a man. Hanzor low. Schneid looking for it. Off the checking of one man. That's Wassilyn. Back up the boards again. Crowley shot. He's already scored for the Colts, and he peppers that one off a player in front of the net. And back out through to center ice. Van trying to work his way in. Can't get much past the blue line, and he'll chase his man down deep in Barrie's territory. Lead pass. Schneid tips it in right on. Hard around the boards as Barrie making changes. Threw it in deep and picked up by the Colts, and then Von Richter will feed the big man Eliasson. He'll go shuttle it in deep. In behind the net is Medvedev. Almost got checked up, sailed off to the corner, and then Momo will lift it out. Trapped at the Barrie blue line. Touched up
Points.
off the draw. London will control. Funk plays it up the boards. Wassilyn will clear. Emerson feeds it on the way. Lead pass. Schneid couldn't handle that pass, and back the other way. And the Knights will emerge with Hawkins. Hits his skate and touched up. And long stick Funk will give an opportunity for Wassilyn to soak it in deep. Played around the boards again. Crombie up the near side, trying to clear. Stolen there by Hawkins along with Van Bommel, but the Colts back the other way. In across line, would have been offside if the Barrie Colts would have touched it. And Funk will have a chance to clear. Bouncing puck right at the red line. Set free, Everton. Eliasson softly off the board. Zabeski. And down the right side for the London Knights. Played off the boards again. Here's the chance for the Knights. Will Nickel tight ropes the line, dished off. Lane now, Bruce Devich down low. Nickel gets bumped there, and the Colts will usher it off the glass and back down in the London ice. Just 30 seconds remaining on the power play for the Knights. Here's Bruce Devich looking for Wassilyn. Bruce Devich way in front of the net. Oh, and a shot. And that just got a piece of the goaltender. Jaswell might have found some post. I'm not sure. The ref waved it off, and it's shuttled in behind the net. Here's the Knights again. We're going to be back to 5-on-5. Here's a chance. A pass intended for Bruce Devich. Picked off by the Barrie Colts, and we are back to 5-on-5. Von Richter out of the penalty box. Wassilyn up the boards again. Plays it back down into traffic. London trying to set it free. Wassilyn upstairs, and he couldn't drop it. Back up top again. Waiting is Mitchell. Fimis shoots. Oh, he gunned it just wide of the mark, and it's stroked back to the blue line once again. Picked off by the Colts. And
The eyes away from Jaswell, but what a great play here by Wassilyn. A great set of hands on this play as he tries to settle his puck down in front of the net. As he gets around Jaswell, but he can't get it up over the pad. And this is the penalty right here as Eliasson takes Bitgood.
Mitchell Fimis will anchor the D. Riddell honors Knights into the corner. Area will control, but Fimis is up on the play. He'll spear it back into the corner. Zabeski. Again, the veteran leadership of the Barrie Colts finds that lane and shoots it down the ice. Just 25 seconds remaining on London's power play. Here's Fimis. Wassilyn. Pass to Zabeski. Rinses it in off the dasher and behind the net. Down Richter. Hard around the boards. Knocked down by the Knights. Fimis. Oh, and Fimis played it back to Van Gorp. He was going high slot. And it rolls back down into London's ice. Lead pass for Bitgood. Off the tip of his stick into the corner. Hard around the boards, and Fimis can't keep it in. And the Barrie Colts, Edgar out of the penalty box. So the Colts yet again dodge the bullet. Wilmot trying to clear the...
In this second period.
Clark on the draw, wins it cleanly. Back to Fimis. Has a lane, some room, shoots. And that goes off a player and dusted off to the corner. Hard around the boards. Fimis keeps it in. The backhander floats down the coast, knocked down by Aitchison, and that allows Crombie, the veteran, to shoot it down the ice. 45 remains in the penalty to the Barrie Colts. Hemming. Brzezinski off to the wing. Bitgood goes off his stick. Wassilyn trying to track it, and London can't keep it in. Colts making changes very quickly on the PK. Here's Fimmons. Mitchell works his way in across the line. Wassilyn down the boards. Clark in behind the net, looking for a man in big good, swept around the boards again, and Mitchell can't keep it in, and there's only 5 remaining.
Regulation time.
Off the draw, won by Nickel. Knights control, and Zoo will pick it up deep in his own territory. Lead pass. Here's Nickel. Off the backboards. Eliason tracks it, trying to get past one man. Cover back out there. Zoo keeps it in, bounces it to the corner off a stick, and the Knights Nickel track it at the blue line. Out through the center ice, but Cover now has a lane, feeds it. Chance Wassilyn tried to in and out in the dipsy doodle against Eliason. He didn't bite, and it sailed off to the corner. In behind the net again, Will Nickel looking for a man off one knee. Shuttles it back to the blue line. Sokolowski waits, shoots in front of the net, and that goes off his stick and off to the half boards. Down low again, Wassilyn off the checking the one man, picked up by Cover. He'll scrub his way up the boards, now back down low for Wassilyn. Tabbed on for Will Nickel. Nickel pressure here by the Knights. Zoo up on the play. Cover can't corral it. Knight over his stick. Waits, lead pass. Nickel tabbed in deep off the tip of his stick. Raced in by Cover. He tried to jam it out front off that high post. In behind the net. Sabaski trying to clear, and he'll lift it back to the blue line. Big Sokolowski with that long reach. Over to the boards with Zoo. In deep goes Sokolowski. Up against his men. Bounced around and played off to the near side and chiseled down into London's ice. There's Nickel. Deep in his own territory. Will Nickel trying to get past Bodwin, the captain. Nickel back the other way, and then he spins it in deep and races in on his own forecheck and behind the net. Swatted free by Wassilyn. Nickel waits, shoots, and a good play by Emerson to pick that shot off. He waited Nickel out. There's Zoo off those lively backboards in front of the net, and Cover dusted that one wide. Field in behind the net. After it is Jackson Cover to the corner, bounced along the boards, and Barrie will clear the zone. And against Schneid, I believe, yes, won by Nickel. Zoo pins it in behind the net. Cover looking for a man, waiting. Pretty crafty. Cover waltzes his way out, hits a shin pad, and it's sent back to the blue line. One of the Colts have lost their stick. Laid down low, centering pass for Wassilyn. The one-timer didn't connect in behind the net again. Set free by Passmore. All pressure here by the London Knights in the last 5 minutes or so. Barrie getting hemmed in. Off the boards again and shot down the ice. And that'll be icing.
Of the season, and now the Knights are down by 3.
Wilmot spins it around the board, so the Knights have some work to do here. As we're inside of 6 minutes remaining here in the third period. Here's Cover, dish to the Omimi native. Mitchell sends it toward the net. Cover bounces his man to the boards and tracked down. And the Colts will have a lane out the right side. Flip to the blue line, tucked in by Wassilyn. Gardner skies it out through to center ice, and Wilmot will boot it up onto his blade. Stops off to the corner. Funk takes over deep in his own territory, and we're approaching the 15-minute mark. Gone here in the third period. A goal by
Hockey game now with 2:57 remaining in regulation time.
So with the Knights and all kinds of pressure in the early going and through the midway portion of this third period. Pinching, as you mentioned, Rick, they would have to do, and all of a sudden the Colts have stuck in 2 on them, and now they have a 4-goal lead. Sokolowski, and we got 2:30 remaining. Here's Hawkins. He'll rev it up down the right side, dumps it in, and races in on the own forecheck. Now floated back out through the center ice, and Zoo will try to track it along with Wilmot. Zoo pins his man up against the boards, but Hawkins will lead the three-man assault. And across the line, goes to the near side. Hawkins front of the net, and that